Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Admiral Pegasus, and on today's show we're going to be talking about this. Yes, it is the Independent Archives, the new building released was in update 72 by Scopely. Now, before we actually get into all the content, if you actually end up liking this video, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, so you know when I drop new videos or go live. So, straight into it. Independent Archives, new building released into the game through update 72, as I've just previously mentioned. And what this is basically doing, this is going to be taking a lot of the older loops that we have in the game and bringing them into one place. And once you've actually completed the loops that come with this building, means you will never ever ever have to do those loops again unless you truly want to. So now, it says here in the description, obviously it provides an in-depth analysis of the day-to-day activities for independent operators, as well as a vital buffs and resources that can provide a tactical edge when engaging in these activities. Yes, okay, certain things, but the one thing is what they're actually giving you here is is a pile of cost efficiencies, really, ranging from the non-Sigma to Sigma resources and materials for the station modules. And the new Chaos Tech leveling up and tearing up as well. And it's also giving you a free shard claim, which is in your gift section. Now, obviously, as you can see, it says free claim is 50 there. This does jump up every 5 levels. So the next one is 75. I am level 8, as you can see here by this highlight, so I'm getting 75. But the next one obviously will be increased at level 10 to 125. And then 15, and then so on. Now, yes, I'm telling you about the shard claims, but what exactly are they for? Well, before we jump into that bit, let's actually mention the cost that I need to do. Let's put my hands in the right position. So you're going to need these artifacts, Independent Archive schematics, which you will claim from your daily section every 22 hours. And also it's just used to upgrade it, but to get access to the building, which comes around from Op 16, if I remember correctly, then you will gain in your gift section the 100 keys you will need to actually unlock this building. Now, if we actually jump over to the gift section, I can quickly show you where they are located. They're in the building resources, and they're going to be here. So these are your schematics which you will need to update the building. As you can see, I've got 8 hours until I can claim again, and then also you've got your data shards here as well. Now, you do have a max limit of 5,000. Trust me, 50 every 22 hours, it's going to take you a very long time to claim all that. But obviously, as you get higher up in the building, say like around about level 50, level 60, then you'll have all. Then you'll probably be getting enough to actually do this within a week or two. Yeah, actually, maybe within a couple of days, actually. But as you can see, I've got 8.5 hours before I can claim that one. So this is what you're going to need for the next segment, which is what we're going to look at right now. So if we jump back into the building, and obviously you've got a little button here which tells you number 4, but as well up the top here on your main UI, you will have this button available. So no matter where you are on the map, if you're in Galaxy View, System View, if you're just too busy watching a miner, you will be able to click this button as long as it's available to actually access the building. So now obviously it's not clicking in, there we go. So is what you're going to need these shards for. These particular pillars. Now, on day 1 of release, we got full access to the Botany Bay archive, and basically what this is a load of pillars here which are going to give you a load of buffs. Now, I can tell you now that these buffs are pretty decent, because my Botany Bay was mining a hell of a lot faster, but it's this data mining bonus that you want to be looking at for this one. If you are low level, let's actually bring this in quickly. This is predominantly aimed at the lower levels for now. Everyone sub 40. So if like this one more particularly, this is going to be for those who have got access to the Botany Bay as soon as they've got to shipyard 18 and gain access to it. But you'll work your way through this, and this data mining bonus basically means like the biggest green data node that you've got is 60,000. When it finishes mining, after my botany bay does it in about 13 minutes, I walked away with 180 from a single node. It was 3 times the amount. It was 3 times the amount. But yeah, if we add up all the bonuses here, so you've got a 25 and 25, that's 50, plus another 50, so that's 100% straight there, so that's doubling it. Then you've got 2 more 50s here, which is adding another 100%. So in total, that's a 200%. These actually stack. They actually do stack. So this is great. So 180,000 for mining a 60,000 node. So now, what I'll actually do is, we'll actually show you this. I ain't got the botany bay out at the minute, but I'm going to put the botany bay out and we're going to mine that particular node. Botany bay's all the way down here. She's not even a million, is she, the botany bay? She's definitely not that small. Oh no, she's registering as a million, but yeah, she's actually 1.3 million. So now I'm not putting any mining crew. Yes, I've got a speed crew on there. Well, warp range actually mostly. Speed and warp range. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the botany bay out on a 60,000 node, and then by the time it's finished mining, I will show you the loot that you're actually getting from it, just so you can clearly see I'm not lying about this. If you've already done it on the month of release, then obviously you know for a fact I'm not lying. But if you are watching this because it's your first time going after this, then you will know, especially if you're low level and you are going after those red data. So obviously I'm going to come here. I'm going to bring the Newton in as well to get rid of the red dots. So here we go, send that in and send, oh, bring that over here. Because I always send the botany, I used to when I did this, always send the botany bay further. So what I'll do is I'll move it over to the point where I'm putting it on the node, so you can actually see that yes, I'm starting with a 60,000 node, an empty botany bay as well. Here it comes, gone flying in now. So actually I might get away with the red dots for the botany bay. So we'll select this node here. No, that's not 60. I want it to be the square 60, so it makes it easier. There we go. So I'm going to, as you can see here, I'm mining for 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes on this node. Now watch the timer on the botany bay down here. 13 minutes 22 seconds. That's not a 60k node. So we're going to leave it at that now. So I'm going to bring the Newton home because the Newton doesn't need to be out now. We'll go back to the archive. I was planning on editing that bit out, but it went a little bit faster than planned. So this has got some real benefit, and I'm going to prove to you the fact that this mining data bonus has actually stacked. I'm actually going to prove it to you. But anyway, mining speed as well as another one, so you've got a nice boost of mining speed here instead of 5. And I'm going to give you the stack numbers here. So you've got 5, 15, 25, 40, 60, 85, 115, 120, 150%. And then the final one in the mastery column is is a 200%. So that's a 200% mining speed increase for all your miners and all your combat ships. So that's a nice little bonus there. Now, what are these pillars? Well, basically they're just extra buffs and everything to help with the particular loop. But if you want to say that you've mastered them, you need to reach these particular two targets right here. You need a tier 9 botany bay and archives at level 16. Now there is a number below it, 1 of 2, that will tell you how many of these you've actually completed. I've completed the tier 9 botany bay because, well, I'm an original player in the game. All original players, theory, have a maxed out botany bay. In fact, to be honest, the botany bay is so easy to max out, it's not that hard. So obviously once I've completed that and I've got this previous one unlocked, so it's literally down to the level of the archives now, I will get these unlocked. Now for the new players coming into the game, you won't have this. You will need to collect those data shards, which we'll see in the next loop. But once you've obviously claimed it, you're going to get the mastery. Jobs are good. And now what you're going to get for this one, this is basically going to pull the augment faction store and put it here for you to collect. So as you can see, you're going to get augment credits, you're going to get independent credits, 130,000 data, despite the fact I'm going to be mining 180 right now. Some plutonium in the 3 grades, access to the hijacked ships in the blueprints. Waste of time going after. Fine if you want them, just to say that because you are a ship collector, get them. And then you'll get the officers that's in there as well. Now as you can see for me, these are all green, means I've completed them. They are maxed out. He's just literally gone to level 30. But here I've got 3 officers that will convert into officer XP for me. I've also got here 6 officers that will convert into transporter patterns for me. So this is the most valuable part of this for me. The rest of it I'm not bothered about. The independent credits is a nice little dose, so that's fine. And then obviously there is a claim button. It is this little section I've just brought up is actually behind me around here. Obviously you'll be able to claim this separately. Now you've got 4 other pillars here. You've got the Vdar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly walk through mostly the actual rewards that you're going to get from these particular loops, so you've got an idea. So as you can see here as well, this is costing me 60 shards to unlock, and again it's going to give me some bonuses and increase into nanoprobe loot. Yeah, okay, I've already got a big enough loot bonus when it comes to these, but then again I don't use normal Vdar, but these will translate into the Talios as well. Damage against, well sorry, yeah, no, it will be just for the Vdar, this one. It will be just for the Vdar. And then damage against non-Armada hostiles. That's going to be the more important one for me, but this one is for all ships. Then again, I won't be surprised if this is for the Talios as well, because it doesn't specifically say just the Vdar. But again, once you get to the end here, so, and then a nice percentage of damage as well. Now this is going to cost all these data shards, which you'll find up here. As you can see, I've got 325, so effectively I could go 60, 140, 240, 380. So actually I can go up to tier 3 on this one. I can't gain that one, but anyway. So what are the main rewards when you've mastered this particular one? Well, you're going to get some charged nanoprobes, active nanoprobes for your Borg officers. This one's for your Vdar and anything else in the Borg Tech Refinery, because it's pulling the Borg Tech Refinery. Here you've got some independent credits, faction reputation, and the positive. That's the important bit here. Some Borg Solar Armada directives, and 3,000 ship XP. Now the rest of this is all going to be from the Latinum Antique Refinery in the Borg Tech Refinery, where it's all a chance. But obviously there you do get a lot more ship XP, which we will show you just shortly. So yeah, that's fine, you got that one. Now if you jump at the Talios, again some increase. You got all the ships that you're getting as well. You're going to have cost efficiency towards the components. It's always best to make sure that you are trying to work through these, so it actually works for you. But the bonus in here now is I can show you this little bit. This is 0/2. That's your targets. It's previously saying 1/2, 1/2. Now it's not, because I do not have a tier 11 Talios or a level 24 archive, so that clearly shows you the bonus. But I mean, Borg Solar Armada credits increase, so that's going to give you a nice increase in credits that you're going to get from the Armadas. I don't really do them, so it's not really going to be worth much to me. Again, more increase of the nanoprobe loot, so it's really going to cut down the amount you have to grind overall. I mean, if we take a look at this one, we've got a 25, we've got a 30, so what's that, 55. 55, 60, 90, 130, 190, 250, and then up here to 325, 330, 410, 510, and that's it. 510% increase there. So that's actually quite nice, but I'd go for the max cargo increase, increasing the cargo sizes of all your ships, including your miners. Now, what you're going to get in here is pretty much the same as the Vdar in the form of the nanoprobes, the credits and the reputation, and some solo directives, but then you're going to gain this. Again, I'll show you the value of this one from this particular chest, rather than where you'd actually normally get it from. But then you got a chance of extra directives and some officers as well. Well, it's just 2 officers really. So yeah, that's a nice little bundle. Not really very valuable to me in all honesty, but it's something I will do over the time. Next up obviously is Voyager, so you got some stuff here as well, some efficiency towards your Voyager's ability. You've got Neelix for that one, he provides great efficiency, so this is just basically going to add on top of it as well. And again, I need to get up to Archive 35 and a Tier 12 Voyager, but I do have a Tier 11 Voyager, so at least I've got 1 or 2 there. Now what you're going to get for this one actually has a lot more value for me in the form of this Signia, and this one as well, to go in and assimilate, to get those assimilated data cubes, which is going to give me the faction messages to get more faction credits. So RC circuitry fragments working towards the research, Voyager parts as well to upgrading your Voyager, but once you get to Tier 12 you don't need them, but they are under RNG along with all these artifact shards as well. So absolutely it's got value in it, absolutely, but it's down to you of how well you really want to push on that particular loop. Now the big one is this one for me particularly, is because not particularly what I'm going to be getting here. The Apex Barrier PvP, yeah, that sounds actually pretty nice and everything, but as you can see I don't have a Tier 12, I don't even have a Tier 11 Monov yet, but Apex Barrier, yes. When it says Monov net chip, this will be both the active and the neuro, and we all know how the neuro one is such a pain in the ass to actually get your hands on. You more get the active. So really this could probably be done with just being the neuro one in all honesty, but it's scopely for you. But what you're going to get here is you're going to get some Monov parts, some resources, and I tell you what, this is very valuable, and I want you to keep an eye on this one, 1.1 trillion, because I'll show you why this one is actually more valuable than the refinery, because again it's pulling it from the refinery. But then it's time to go into RNG again with research particles, shipyard directives and materials. Now in perfect honesty, the materials is pulled from the particular chest where you do the automatic shipyard, but yes, fine, it's RNG in here what you're actually getting. But if you actually look at this for the uncommon, this is G5 as well, so if you are below G5 it's not particularly mean anything to you. You might be seeing the G4 ones, but look at this, 170 or 510, a chance of whichever. I'm not sure how many of these materials I'd actually pull because there's no I button for this. Actually I can check that I button up there, but it's like I've got rares as well, and I've got some of the epics, which is what I currently need to finish Voyager, more particularly the epic gas, even at 53. This is not normally available in your refinery, your main material refinery, until Ops 56. But yeah, unless you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But in the Monov refinery, yeah, you can gain access to it, so they are valuable. So let's have a look at the I button up here. How to play? Oh no. Yeah, so it's just telling you what you're actually going to get here. In the Monov refinery, exchange archive neural nets to get the Queen favors and all that. We'll literally show you that one. The higher the ship tier of your Monov, the higher value rewards in the Monov refinery. Focus on upgrading your Monov to claim the most valuable rewards. So, and then obviously it's giving you some extra tips and all that. So this I button is actually quite interesting. Additionally, chaos tech such as the electromagnetic loot will provide you extra strong combat and loot bonus efficiency when fighting Texas class. That's available if you spend £20 on the Elite Battle Pass for the month of November. Obviously, once you get past November, then it's not available. But yeah, so then you've got all that. So it's quite interesting. This has more value in it in the fact of the claim one. Now, what happens when you complete all these? Well, it takes all these claims that I've showed you so far in this video and puts them into one basket. If you remember the phrase, don't put all your eggs in one basket, this is the opposite. Put your eggs in one basket. In fact, Scopely does it for, the game does it for you. It puts all your eggs in one basket. And then what you'll need, then simply, all you do on a daily basis is come in here, click this claim all button. Obviously, I can't claim it in a minute because I've got no loops open. And obviously, until I get the archive up, I ain't going to get there. So, it's going to put them all in a single basket, and which means that's going to be one hell of a claim. Now, the downside I'm seeing to this is the fact is Scopely going to keep up with this? Are they going to continue to add more loops into this for us to actually complete? And a second one, again, it is a loop. It is a loop, but if you actually look at it, all it is reach these particular tiers. That's it. For this one, for example, a tier 5 Vdar and level 8 archives. Well, yeah, I can claim that now, but I can't claim this one because I ain't got a level 12 archive. I've got a tier 9 Vdar, yeah, but as you've seen so far, Talios it's not at tier 12 yet. Voyager not at tier 12 yet. Monov not at tier 12 yet. So I've still got to do that. I've still got to get those ships up to that tier. So I've still got stuff to do. But the one thing as well is like getting this up to that final piece with this Voyager component cost efficiency. Yeah, fine. That's going to drop the cost efficiency of the components for me. When it comes to the Talios, it's going to drop the cost of the charged nanoprobes for me. When you can't upgrade it any further because your ops locked, like the Talios, you've got time to build up all these charged nanoprobes. Trust me, I've got enough charged nanoprobes nearly to actually send this to tier 11. That's just because I can't go any further until I'm ops 54. And I'm not going ops 54 for another 400 days as a max. It's cooking, but I'm trying to catch up on all my research first. So yes, this is going to take time to complete, and it will be pretty much subject to your ops level as well for some of these ships that are ops locked, like the Vdar for the lower level players. So now let's compare this to the actual places where you're actually going to pull it from. We're not going to worry about the augment side in the faction store because that can be completely different for everyone. But if we take the Borg tech, so obviously you've got your charged nanoprobes, active nanoprobes, you've got solar armada, so you're going to directives, so you're going to get them in both the Vdar and the Talios. Independent credits, so in here I will get 1100, just under 1200 every 22 hours. That's roughly a little bit less than what I would get from the archive. I mentioned the Latinum Antique Refinery. Here's all your chances. But in the archives, I only get 3000 XP. This is going to give me 12,000. But this is over 7 days. It's got a 7-day cooldown on it, if I remember correctly. It's been a very, 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 very long time since I did it last. Now, the officers and the other directives and all that all come from this particular chest. Now, I did point out the loot one. This is it. This is 3 tokens, but it's on an RNG basis. The other one gives you a token every day. But realistically, even that is no longer useful to me. It's no longer useful to me because I barely do the directives thanks to the Xborg faction store where I can just get the charged nanoprobes that I need. Sorry, the inert nanoprobes. The inert nanoprobes, I can get enough inert nanoprobes to claim from a charged nanoprobes. I don't do expansion cubes because it is too much of a headache. There's just too many different armadas in the game, because there is a lot to do in this game. But I don't particularly like this chest, and it's bloody expensive. You need to lead those expansion cubes to get the leader's chest to actually get anything to get you that. So it's just too much work, realistically. So it's great the fact that that's now in the archives. Also, you got your credits as well, but this is the big one. Remember, in the archives, I was getting 60 million from the Talios version of the faction points. Here I'm only getting 17 million, but in these chests I'm also getting some negative for the other two. So for the Federation, fine, I'm going to get the positive for the Federation, but I'm getting negative for the other two. Now it's only half the amount, but if you are working on all three factions, at the same time, jumping into here, again, here's the Federation one. Now it's reducing that 17 million I've just got by half. But yet then if I go into the other chest as well, oh, there's the other one. That's it. It's now a net zero. It's a net zero. So it's brilliant. The archives now have got this particular positive. You can't reduce it. So I don't need to do this particularly, but if I really wanted to come after some of the faction credits as well, hell, I can just come in here and do that. I mean, what was it, 330,000 charged nanoprobes? Well, this is only 27.125. So yes, I can come in here and just gain all these. So realistically for me now, working on the Talia so I can get them, is actually more valuable to me, getting all these credits, and I could really build up the number of credits. I can work towards that Sanctus quite easy. I can work towards my Enterprise D, the Deridex, if I decide to get it. Then I can start looking towards of how much I'm going to need for the G6 ships. I can look about me officers and make sure they're upgraded. Officer badge sourcing could do with being added, but not quite sure how they're doing. But it's got a lot of value. Now, one of the other ones is Voyager. So as you can see in here, I've got this, which here got some commerce insignia. I can only put one of these chests, which is a shame really. 8.5 million for that. So let's have a quick look. But there you go. So that's what I've got with this. Okay, not too bad. Then you've also got these two. You've got this one here as well, which is going to give you a chance at them and guaranteed Duratanium. I don't do Voyager. I don't mind. I don't grind with it. Literally, I don't. And to be honest, I don't know how many other players in G5 and G6 actually do that with Voyager. But what they primarily want is the commerce insignia to bring into these chests. So obviously, as you can see, I've got 1400 here. That's because I got a crap load from literally using up all my deuterium canisters on the assimilated data cubes. That's pretty much all you'd actually go for, is the assimilated data cubes, so you can actually get a chance of 100 bits for this. But it gives you ship parts, some ship XP, a decent quantity of it as well. So, and obviously the common ship parts, which is a bit of a rarity. So it's like in the minute, as you can see, I've got the battleship one gone. That's because I'm working on my Voyager until it gets to tier 6. Then I'll be moving on to the interceptor, ready, get all the stuff ready for my Sanctus. But I also do this one here, which is giving me like 17,000 Latinum every day. So, but I don't do the Amalgam because it's maxed. Don't bother with the Cerritos. Don't bother with the Franklin A because that's maxed. So, surveys I could do to actually get some more ships in place for the couple more Novas. Go after the faction miners if I wanted to, when I get there at 50 Ops 58. So this gives me some stuff that I can go after, but the bonuses as well. I can go after this as well with the archives. I don't just have to confine myself to the archives, I can also go after this as well if I wanted to. But the biggest one in here is going to be the Monov. Obviously you got your 2 chips. Here you're going to get your parts. So obviously I don't have to worry too much about this, but the downside is the archives do not give you any Queen's favours. That's the downside. But give you research particles. But at the minute it's like, I'm working on this newer one because I've got 191 million. And it's taken me an awful long time to get through this. But I'll get some of these like this. and I don't really bother with the shipyard directives anymore. But I told you to keep an eye on that 1.1 trillion for a reason, and it's this one here. 200. I'm at the minute getting 281 billion. Now let's call up the calculator. Okay, so 281 billion, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to times that by the 3 chests. So effectively I'm getting 843 billion power steel. Okay, it's less than the 1.1 trillion. Okay, so that's fine. But the one thing is I can't guarantee I'm going to do the 3 chest pull all the time. Because even if I went through this one, which I get 100, so if I did the 2 chests, that's 200, and into this one again, if I did the 2 chests on this one, another 200, so that's only 400. That's 100 short. So effectively I can't actually do the 3 chests every single day, not unless I have a massive surplus, which is what I had when I entered G5, and then I accidentally got raided during the last round of incursions, lost 25 trillion. So oops, we still won, but hey ho. But anyway, so if we actually look in here as well, if I look at the tier 12, which is 339 billion, so we'll get the calculator back up. So we're going to clear that one, so 339 times 3 equals just under the 1.1 trillion. Just under. But the bonus is, when I get my Monov to tier 12, I can still claim these. But what I'll do, I'll take it down to what level I could claim every single day out of this, which is the 2 chest one. 678 billion. On top, every day, of the 1.1 trillion I'm going to get from the archives every day. That's 1.7 trillion steel I could get every day. Or I could turn that over to looking at the particularly like the titanium or the dilithium. So if I wanted to look at particularly more like my ship upgrades and me repairs, look at the titanium. Research primarily is dilithium. I've already got quite a bit of them, so I don't have to worry too much about them. So I could still technically do these, and then obviously when I look in here as well, you've got the chance of all these materials. Now, yes, these looking at slightly higher, and of course you've got the epics in here, which I could go for, but this has got a 3-day cooldown on it. A 3-day cooldown in it. That archives over 3 days will pay me out more than what this will do. This will do every 3 days. So realistically, yes, I can still do all the loops if I wanted to, and use the archives as a daily bonus. So effectively, thanks to the Monov being here, when I finally get it to tier 12, which shouldn't be too hard to do, it's just making sure that I get all of those parts, which at the minute, because I'm not actually doing the neuronets, I'm not getting the parts, but I'm trying to get me active ones down. I might actually switch that idea back around and start chucking the Monov back out to get the parts, because now this is actually giving me a massive incentive to go after it. But we need to look at how many I actually need. So I've just closed the calculator down. So off the top then, so we've got 300, 400, 600, 880, 900, 1200, 1560, 1760, 1822, so it's 2200, 2500, 3100, 4000, 5000. So anyway, up to around about 6,000 data shards I'm going to need. But we know that limit's 5,000. Well, that's fine. I can just go after it. But I've got 325, so technically I could do just this one particular one. But yeah. Now, back to the Botany Bay, just to prove to you that that mining bonus is actually there. So as you can see, my Botany Bay here, it's already telling you 180k. Let me move myself out of the way to just double check so you can actually see around here, 180k. That's on a 60k node. So this is the bonus you're getting from that Botany Bay loop in the archive. So I'm getting 3 times the amount off a node. I'll take that. I don't use it, but the one thing is as well, I could actually go into the faction store. Let's put me back in my corner. Augment. So I've got my data in here. I can use my data to go and buy some augment credits, which I can then convert into 75 independent credits. It's not an awful lot. I'll get more about the archive every day, but I can still use that data that it's given me as well to actually go after this, get some extra credits. So yes, as much as it's taking the loops out, you can keep the loops going and use them as use it as an extra. So independent archives, what do I think of it? I think this is a fantastic building. It's got, even if you don't like some loops, I've just showed you, you can use it as extra. It's bringing more in, and it will mean potentially as well, especially for the lower level players, faster progression in the game. So that's it. That's all I've got to say on the archives. I've gone well over half an hour, but hey, that's nothing new. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Is this a building that you see a great amount of potential in? Or do you think Scopely are going to do with the archives what they've done with another piece of content that they brought into the game that has fallen by the wayside for lower level players? Yes, that. This. Because lower level players can use this and get the full unlock of Kirk. But the problem is, they haven't done anything else with it since. Whether they've got plans to or not is beside the point. But I thought this was meant to be like a great thing to keep people engaged in the game a little bit longer. Well, once you've completed it, yeah, fine, you can rerun it if you want. What's the point? You've done it. But the rewards in here was not particularly good for high level players, but it was brilliant for low level players. But yeah, so that's Scopely for you. Hopefully they will continue to keep the archive going and really start putting the loops in there and really give us a hell of a lot, because you've got other things that could potentially go in, like the Mantis. Yeah, I'd like that with the extra Syndicate XP potentially pass for the Mantis, because I've still got to max my Mantis. I think it's at tier 10, I think, at the minute. So it's got great potential. The Stellar loop, they could add that in there for low level players as well, because that's a pain in the ass to do. So getting those stellar particles every day means I could go after those resources in there, but I'd have to get the stellar skin for the assimilated one to get the materials that I need. But anyway, this has got a lot of scope, a lot of potential to go further and really bring a lot more stuff into the game to help players progress just that bit faster, especially trying to get them up to level 60 eventually, so they actually can look at the release of G7. Sorry. But at the minute, with only 5,000 players in the G6 region spread across from 61 to 70, they're not really fussed about getting it in just yet. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I know I've repeated myself multiple times, but hey ho, that's me, I do that. Thank you for joining me. I'm Admiral Pegasus. Stay safe, live long and prosper, and I shall catch you on the next video. Goodbye.